what do I not see with Kory? I know there's the height thing, but seriously, what do I not get about the Kory of it all? His face is not it for me. And I know that he like knows that, but is the body just really that incredible? Because if Kory was hitting on me, I'd be like, ugh, gross. He just feels like an STD. But all the ladies are loving him over on Winter House, so there must be something I'm missing. Maybe when I see him at BravoCon, cut to me being like, I get it. Yes, he's liked some transphobic tweets and posts and things, but I get it. I get it. Anyway, welcome to She Speaks Bravo, your source for unnecessarily detailed and analytical recaps of your favorite reality TV shows. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss when I upload new episodes. For my audio listeners, please rate and or review the show on whatever platform you listen. It is a great free way to support the pod. Okay, now let's get into episode 1 of Winter House, season 3. I'm so happy the house is better. The house has been harrowingly small for not just for a lot of people, but for a lot of like tall people. You know, Austin, Craig, I'm like, they can barely fit in that kitchen. So this house is no joke an upgrade. Like, okay. I think, is everyone getting their own room? My word. Kyle, Kory, Malia, and Katie are first to arrive. Now, little backstory for those who don't know my history with Below Deck. I have watched Malia on Below Deck. The last season I watched of a Malia season was the one with Hannah, where Hannah quits and all of that nonsense with the vape pen and everything. So I don't like Malia, and it's not even the whole, she went and said something to Captain Sandy with the pen or whatever. It was just her energy in general. Didn't love it. So I'm not super pumped to have her here. However, I understand why it's a good idea to incorporate the Below Deck people, because when Katie was like, I don't even know who Schwartz is, I said, oh, you need to get more involved with Bravo. And it makes sense because they're like on boats, you know, they don't sit around watching TV. They're busy. So it kind of makes sense that they would be the most disconnected, but I get why they're bringing him in. However, there are just so many other people that I would have picked before I picked Malia, you know, but I guess they're looking for a specific age group. She maybe is the one that had, like, what are you gonna do? Kate hasn't done it forever, and I love Kate. Who else? Hannah, you know, she's got a baby. It's not the same thing. Aisha is going to be there eventually. Riley is going to be there eventually. A very Below Deck heavy situation. It's also smart. Wait, hold on. I'm also having another realization. It's also good because Below Deck has such a huge fan base, and that fan base will now watch Winter House. So that's what, you know, by pulling in Malia, is that really the move? Although maybe people like her. I gotta say though, I've never been more flooded, not never, but I was flooded with DMs with people all saying they hate Malia. Like I'd posted like a preview for this episode, and everything was, I hate Malia. So, you know, maybe they're hiding under a rock somewhere. Like I know there are Teddy lovers somewhere. I had one hit me up in my DMs calling me a troll for not liking Teddy. I can't even get into that. I mean, how do I even unpack that? Right? Like, get out of here. So Malia and Katie, though, they immediately like Kory. They recognize he's a fuckboy. You know, wait a minute. Maybe that's sort of just like what it is. The magic of fuckery, fuckboyery. You know, maybe that's the attraction, is that it's such a bad idea. You can tell it's a bad idea. He's such a like in your face flirt too. Okay. They're also younger than me. Like I'm turning 40 in February. So, you know, maybe if I was younger, I'd be like, I get it. You know, maybe that's what it is. And here I like Brian, for crying out loud. I mean, he gets less and less attractive, unfortunately, this episode. But I think he would just be the funnest friend. Brian is he's just such a silly little goofball. Now, because I haven't watched Katie on Below Deck before at all, so I didn't realize that Katie and Malia were like as tight as they were. They work together, they live together, so they're tight. Danielle rides up with her friend Casey, and I like that they gave her a friend, and this friend seems like the down-to-earth one. She's the first person to go to bed at night, and I'm like, okay, respect. I feel her vibes. At this point, Danielle and Robert, they have been broken up for 5 months, and she admits that she is trying to run away from heartbreak. I find Danielle's honesty about the Robert thing to be refreshing. She didn't need to be that honest. Like later when she admits that she bumped into Robert and he made it clear they were not getting back together. I was like, she didn't need to say that. She could have left that out, but she didn't. She was honest about it. Let's see, where am I? Jordan is next to arrive. She considers herself a mix of Riri and Stevie Nicks. I was actually like, okay, yeah. Because after watching Summer House Martha's Vineyard, I was like, how do I describe Jordan? Like, I was kind of left with a big question mark about her. But this is kind of a decent comparison, if you will. And then after seeing the way the men throw themselves at her, I can see why maybe she was extra on alert on Martha's Vineyard. That she had the whole meltdown about the guys like claiming her or whatever, all that stuff that seemed kind of out of nowhere. Then we got 2 guys try to kiss her on the first freaking night. And I'm like, oh, so she's just got something. I'll probably fall in love with her when I see her at BravoCon. I can guarantee it, actually. She should probably stay away from me now that I think about it. Yeah. I'm not to be trusted around someone that beautiful. No. And her boobs, they're so beautiful. Like, I want to take her boobs into like my boob doctor that I'm eventually going to have and get those boobs. See, I'm already, my coverage of Winter House is going to be incredibly horny. Because, I mean, these people are all so gorgeous. When you see these people in real life, you're like, okay, I get how you have to put them on a show. I don't know what exactly for, but like, they're just so beautiful. So you put them all in a house and they better be fucking, Okay, moving on. Danielle and Casey arrive, and Danielle apparently knows Jordan from New York City, which love that connect. Kyle then says that Tom Schwartz is coming, and I'm living for having our voices, our reactions there in the house with Jordan and Danielle both gasping, like, what? Huh? Because that's how we all would be, right? If we were in the house because this is the height of Sandoval. Like, let's try to take ourselves back to that time when we found out Tom Schwartz was going. We were like, you're going to Winter House? Wow. So I appreciate them. But then Jordan says in her confessional, she says, somehow I always find myself in someone else's mess. And I like to stay out of the mess, keep it Mr. Clean. How are you in the middle of it? Like, I don't think just because you're doing the show with him, that's not. Danielle can be in the middle of it. That's fair because Danielle is friends with Katie. But Jordan, you can sit this one out. You're fine. You're good, girl. Katie doesn't even know, Below Deck Katie doesn't even know who Tom Schwartz is. And they're about to have a rendezvous. So, God, gross. Brian and Alex arrive. Danielle is immediately attracted to Alex. She likes hair. She likes men with hair. Because remember when she first met Robert? Robert had hair. She really is into men with locks. Okay? Brian sets up Alex so much here. He goes, hey, Alex, give that toast I like so much. And Alex says, to rattlesnakes and condoms, 2 things I don't fuck with. Everyone's like, ew, I don't even want to touch this guy now. What? That was weird. Now, see, I don't have any history with Alex. This is the first time I've ever seen this human being. I think he's kind of boring, personally. He doesn't have the something. I find Kory more interesting. I don't like men that think being a flirt is like a personality. And I'm like, are you even flirting? Like, I don't know. But Brian, you know I love Brian. But Brian and Alex give very opposing versions of their friendship. Brian, we have a lot in common. Alex, we don't have much in common. He's kind of a unique brand. Yeah, he's interesting. Brian says he's always down to do something, no matter what. Alex, he's also extremely flaky, which I would like more information on, because that's not a great quality to have. Brian says they're like Batman and Robin. They all go to some car at some point to get supplies. You can't. I just want more information. Like, who did that run? Was it a PA? How much money was that? They went and got like food at a restaurant, and they also had like other supplies like booze and stuff. Like, they have stepped up the budget for this season of Winter House. Okay, usually it is like, figure it out. We don't provide shit, but this time they're like, for day one, don't worry, we'll just provide it. And I was like, I prefer this. I don't need them roughing it all the time. Brian asks Kyle who else is coming, and this is when they get into how Tom Sandoval is definitely not coming. And, dude, they showed a savage flashback. The flashbacks they show is dumbass Tom when he's talking to Ariana. I mean, this is a heavy scene to show. Tom being like, Raquel and I, we became good friends. And Ariana, I don't give a fuck about fucking Raquel. So good. And then the other flashbacks, though, is Tom crying and sobbing on Schwartz, and Schwartz being like, you done fucked up, buddy. And then Tom crying over, like, off to the window, like, crying and at Lisa's. Pathetic. Kyle vouches for Tom Schwartz. He's like, he's actually a good guy. He's just made some mistakes, kind of like myself. And then I remembered when Schwartz did that epic fail of a Watch What Happens Live, Kyle posted something like, guys, this isn't cool. Like, maybe it was just a comment on someone's post. It's not cool to insinuate that he was like on drugs or something. Sometimes we do our best. We ask questions, whatever he said. But now it makes sense. Schwartz is not Mr. Innocent. I know a lot of people still like Schwartz, but Schwartz is low key, really, really toxic, almost on the level of Tom Sandoval. He just doesn't have the like, oh gosh stuff. And Sandoval is truly like a cult leader with his damn band. He really views himself on that high godlike level, and Tom Schwartz doesn't. So there's the difference. But in terms of how they treat women, Schwartz is so toxic. So I love Brian having no clue that everyone was getting rooms. So Danielle comes up and she's like, you guys, Kory and Kyle, you got the bedrooms upstairs. And Brian's like, hold on, wait, did everyone just go claim rooms? Is that what just happened right now? Damn it. But it's okay, dude. There are apparently rooms for everyone. It's not like someone's going to end up. And I love the below deck people all taking like small rooms. All of them feel much more comfortable in tiny quarters. They're like, this is how I exist comfortably and securely. Danielle was in Aspen 2 weeks prior, and this is when she talks about bumping into Robert and says, it wasn't my favorite. And I really am impressed with her honesty. In her confessional, she says that she'd be lying if she said she didn't want to run into Robert and hopefully get back together again. But he made it clear that's never going to happen. What the fuck? What did that fucker say? Honestly, good riddance. Last season when he was all weird about coming up with the plan for buying a house or having any sort of future plans whatsoever, I'm like, he just looked like he was struggling. Like he was barely keeping it together. Chefs are gnarly and they work gnarly hours, and he looked like he was doing some, I wouldn't even say in his mind, probably medicinal recreational drugs to keep himself awake, because he was all gaunt and he looked all like pale. And poor Dan, I feel for Danielle, because she probably thought he was so perfect. Danielle's been on the hunt for a while, like everyone, I guess, looking for a man, and then Robert came along and it seemed to be so perfect. But no. dark. He has a darkness to him. And Danielle is all light, you know?
Wait, what?
BravoCon is almost here, and I swear to God, I cannot risk getting a breakout. Okay. They have ruined many events of mine. The breakouts around my chin were especially prominent about 2 months ago, but Apostrophe is sponsoring the pod, and they have kind of changed my skin. Apostrophe is an online platform that connects you with an expert dermatology team to get customized acne treatment for your unique skin. Through Apostrophe, you can get access to oral and topical medications that use clinically proven ingredients to help clear up acne. Simply fill out one of those online consultations about your skin goals and your medical history, then snap a few selfies, and a dermatology provider will create your customized treatment plan. Apostrophe offers access to prescription treatments for all types of acne, from hormonal acne to facial acne, and even back, chest, and butt acne. So I had already been using tretinoin, but they sent me tretinoin and azelaic acid. I'd never even heard of azelaic acid, but this stuff is better. Look it up. But it's just because I filled out the online form and they looked at the results and they looked at my skin, because you send in selfies, and they build a customized plan for you. We have a special deal for our audience. Get your first visit for only $5 at apostrophe.com/SheSpeaks when you use our code SheSpeaks. That's a savings of $15. This code is only available to our listeners. To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/SheSpeaks and click Get Started. Then use our code SheSpeaks at sign up and you'll get your first visit for only $5. Thank you so much, Apostrophe, for sponsoring this episode.
Wait, what?
Every time I thought of buying an electric toothbrush or water flosser, I didn't want to have the bulky charger and the cords. It's just not aesthetically pleasing. Well, Quip solves that problem. Their stuff is so sleek and it has all the same benefits as an electric toothbrush, as a water flosser, but looking chic on my bathroom counter. The water flosser is especially chic. These things are normally really bulky, and they even thought of everything. There's an extra wide lid that fits right under the faucet and it fills up in seconds. The cordless rechargeable battery lasts up to 8 weeks with daily use. So there's none of the tangled cords or charging docks that I just don't like. This can blast away up to 99.9% of plaque from treated areas with precision, thanks to the 360-degree rotating magnetic floss tip that snaps into place. Really easy to control water flow too, that leaves you feeling squeaky clean, just a little touch of a button. Sleek and slim enough to keep your counterparts as clean as your teeth, and $7 replacement floss tips shipped to you every 3 months to keep things up flowing smoothly and prevent mineral deposits from building up. That's huge. And the Quip electric toothbrush is loved by over 9 million mouths. When I told my friend I was sponsored by Quip, he went nuts because he's been wanting a Quip himself. If you're really on top of brushing your teeth, you can upgrade your Quip with a smart motor. This tracks and improves your brushing with the free Quip app. Also, you can earn amazing rewards like free refills, products, Target gift cards, and more. In addition to brush heads, Quip also delivers fresh floss, toothpaste, mouthwash, and gum refills every 3 months from $7. If you go to getquip.com/bravo right now, you'll get 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, and water flosser. That's your 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, water flosser at getquip.com/bravo, spelled GETQIP.com/bravo. Quip, the good habits company.
Don't activate me because you've not seen me activated.
Katie comes down at one point and she's like, oh, I'm going to make a ranch water. And Alex is like, oh, I'll have one. And Brian's like, oh, do you have bartending skills? I don't know why that's funny. And Malia and Katie go, yeah, no, we both work on a boat. We work on the same boat, actually. Well, Alex thinks he can flex here. He's like, these chicks. Yeah, I captain day charters. Malia goes, what license do you have? He says, 100 ton. She says, I have my chief mate, 3,000. And Brian's like, oh, wait, so you drive a massive super yacht? She's like, yeah, I'm a second officer. And Brian goes, well, that's actually very attractive. Yeah. Okay, buddy. Brian throws out the option. He's like, so you girls, you were used to working on what would you, you're used to running around, traveling. How about dating someone who's messy? And they immediately are like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Brian's like, okay, yeah, cool. Because I was just asking for a friend of mine. How do you not love him? Although I will say, if I had to deal with a man as messy as Brian, yeah, that wouldn't happen. But I don't even want to live with someone ever again. We can have 2 separate homes. I will visit. Amanda FaceTimes Kyle and he's like, hey, babe, I miss you. And she goes, I don't. He says in his confessional, I am a lot for Amanda. So now that she's not here, I can let my freak flag fly without having someone chop it down. It was so, I'm like, Kyle, you are now getting to the point where you have been doing this a long time and it's real rehearsed and like real showboaty in these confessionals. You know what I mean? Just chop it down. Oh, it was cheese. Dinner was being stored in the warming drawers. I was with Danielle when someone was like, they're in the warming drawers. And Danielle's like, oh my God, how could I not know they're in the warming drawer? Like, what the hell? I am okay with this fancy place. They're just going to destroy it, though. They serve themselves and they sit down to eat. And Alex tells Danielle, you're trouble. Oh, shut up. What does that even mean? More like you are trouble. And you do this weird thing where you say that to a girl and it's supposed to mean what? Like, I'm going to get you in trouble? Like, what does that mean? Thanks? What? Danielle's like not super falling for it either. She's like, okay, but you're still hot and I love your hair. Brian brings up that he wants to be married by 35 and he's trying, like, you could tell this is like his mom and the whole like Indian community that he deals with. You could tell that none of these people here at this table are like, they're not on board with that. They're like, huh? None of us are co-signing your need to get married by 35 because then if you're not married by 35, it's over for you. That was an interesting lesson for him to learn, to say that in a group of people that all don't agree with the weird traditional standards that we have come to, or that he has come to expect, or accept, rather. Where am I? Malia asks, then Malia goes, what's everyone's relationship status? And she goes, well, you're single, to Brian. But then it gets around to Kory, and that man, he stalls, he chews, he swallows, he stutters. And then finally he says he met a girl over the summer in the Hamptons. And in his confessional, he goes, we haven't put a label on it to make it official. So it's in a gray area. So, I can still have a little fun. I mean, oh man, how do I say this without sounding like a douchebag? You can't. Okay? And then Danielle's confessional is, this is not like a situationship. This is a relationship. Okay? It's not casual. And they show pictures of Sam and Kory like out and about. Now, obviously, I don't know the exact dates on those pictures, but I'm sure they're pulling from like that time period. It's like, Kory. They all kind of like get changed to do whatever like phase 2 is of the evening. And Brian and Alex talk about how they're both into Jordan and Malia. Or no. Is that who it was? Jordan and Malia? Sure, why not? Alex was actually voted biggest flirt in high school. But Brian over here, he's looking for a wifey for lifey. I'm probably not going to find it on this trip. But you know what? Weirder things have happened. What am I even saying? It could happen, actually. In the kitchen, some of them are like hanging out. And Brian asks Jordan, this was actually good. He goes, give me your smize. Give me your best smize. And then she gives him a smize. And I was like, okay, he's doing pretty good. He's not doing too bad. But then Alex swoops in and he convinces her to like smize all the way to the hot tub together. So Casey goes to bed. Queen. Get it? But then, Brian, you were doing so well. He's flirting with Malia and he goes, man, you're like an ogre. Okay, Brian was on Watch What Happens Live, and he once again was like, like in Shrek when he says the donkey's like an onion, and I don't think Brian realizes that the phrase, you're like an onion with all these layers, is not from Shrek. Like that, they didn't create that. Nope, that's been around for a while. So he's like, like in Shrek, like donkey layers, getting worse, buddy. Just getting worse. So major strike there. In the hot tub, which seems like it's kind of difficult and annoying to get into. Alex is like, Jordan, you're beautiful, all drunk. And she goes, okay, what does that mean? And then he, like, I've never seen him more. I was like, they slow it down? He so slowly, like, goes all the way. And she waits until he gets up here and then swerves. Like, what did she think he was going to do up to that point? And just goes, nope, nope, nope. And she's looking right at the camera that's out there. I'm like, he just stays like swerved. He's like, wow. And then he goes, it's torturing me. Creepy. And she goes, okay, I'm ready to go to sleep. Kory then starts a snowball fight that's half indoor, half outdoor. And of course, I'm like, the house. The fucking house. But then everyone starts going to bed. Jordan has come back in, changed out of her, hot tub attire, and she's ready for bed. And Brian is like, okay, let's say goodbye to me. And Jordan's like, okay, well, we're going to the same place. And he goes, no. And so she goes to like hug him, but he clearly wants to kiss her. So I was like, oh, okay. That's why Jordan is like on guard with men. 'Cause goddamn, that's like two of you guys. Brian, you haven't even been talking to Jordan all night. How is she gonna start kissing you, buddy? You know what I mean? Ew, Samantha, she texts Kory, I hope you had a good night. And he just writes, for sure, period. Sleep well. Dick. Rude. Okay, so I know we don't like Malia. I was like, I don't like Malia. But the next day, Malia is up at 6:30 in the morning and cleans the entire kitchen spotless and says, I honestly don't mind. It's like a hobby for me. Okay, well, actually, then she's great to have around. I think everyone can agree on that. If there's someone who wakes up that early and by the time you get up, the kitchen is spotless, yeah, you're a pretty valuable asset to this home. Okay. Brian goes and checks in with Alex, though, before he goes all the way upstairs to the kitchen. And Alex is claiming he doesn't remember the hot tub. I don't know if I believe that. But we'll see. Jordan seems, I can't tell, but it seems like she had a little anxiety or something, which would be, I don't know how these people, people are built a certain way, man. Because, yeah, they had a night. Casey works in crypto, and she's talking to Brian. She's like, I'm a total nerd. He's like, oh, me too. And for a second, I was like, hey, they could, never mind, actually. Nope, there's zero connection there. Unless I'm wrong. I would love it. I would absolutely adore it. He does need someone who's equally in like tech or that kind of stuff, But that's also Danielle. But Danielle and Brian have like a brother-sister relationship. You can just tell, right? Schwartz texts Kyle. Okay, wait. Am I remembering the timeline correctly? When Schwartz did that weird interview in the airport with one of the TMZ people, was that when we thought he was on his way to Winter House, or was that just a different time? I want to say we thought it was when he was on his way to Winter House. I think that's the same thing. So Schwartz tells Kyle, I'm on my way to LAX. Man, I'd be more pumped, but this whole melodrama has quite a hold over me. And then to think he gets to the airport and either he called them or there's this one TMZ guy who's just been stalking their every move. Is anyone else uncomfortable with those TMZ things? Like when they're like not leaving them alone, just trying to get an answer out of them. I find those to be just invasive and weird. I hate watching them. And then Danielle continues to be like our voice. She's like, no, I'm not excited to see him. Okay. Yeah, I'm more mad at Sandoval, but how the hell do you not say anything for all that time? And I'm like, yes, I didn't think I would want to see this footage of like Schwartz or whatever, but it's nice having it coming to me through this lens, not just like, hey, we're pretending like nothing's happened. Tom Schwartz is here, which is kind of what I thought was going to happen, but I like that we're at least addressing it. All right, so they get ready to go to the slopes. They're on their way to the slopes, and Kory's like, so Alex, who are you going for? You know, because whoever you go for is who I'm going to go for, which says it all. And he's not kidding, right? I think we all can agree he's definitely not kidding. Alex says, Jordan, Danielle, and the short one too, maybe. The short one. Jordan tells the girls that Alex and Brian both tried to kiss her, and they're like, both of them? It's like, yes, I do. Just out of nowhere, fucking Alex went for the lunge. And then the Brian one caught her out of nowhere. Like, that one really caught me out of nowhere. I was like, no, he's not. He hasn't even, never mind. Dude, Kyle opens the sunroof. This is something I would do. Opens the sunroof and ice, like chunks of ice come into the car. That is 100% something I would do. I'm dumb like that. The tubing activities look super fun. It's giving us what we definitely want. Kory and Kyle talk to Katie and Malia on a little break about how they're going to go out that night, and Malia calls Kory an absolute hazard. Great term. Kory asks Malia what her type is, and he's like, besides, like, clearly, me. And she says, intelligent. Okay, all right, Malia. Okay, you got him there. Malia and Katie both in their confessionals admit that they're totally, like, turned on by Kory and think he could do everything really well. But they're like, look at us, a douchebag in a situationship. And we're like, we're totally feeling him. And it's true. Danielle and Alex talk. He thinks her coming tubing is like super cool. He's like, thanks for coming. I'm like, where else would she go? But then he goes, oh my God, she's hot and she does stuff. You're intimidating to me. Literally everyone is there tubing together. So this is some bullshit, buddy. These are just lines that you use, okay? Danielle says, look, I appreciate that, but focus on one girl at a time, maybe. And Alex totally pretends not to remember going in for the kiss with Jordan. Look, while I can, because I've done it, I've blacked out so many times I can't even count in my life. It's just convenient that he's forgotten that. Because he did say he woke up with anxiety because he's like, fuck, what happened? What'd I do? So far, not impressed with Alex, I gotta say. But Danielle's confessional shows that she's the real one. She says, Jordan is my friend, and without knowing where she stands, why would I want to go there? That's right, bitch. That's right. Exactly. All right. Final moment is Schwartz arriving. It's this huge intro. And I just got to say, when they show Schwartz in his confessional, I was like, wow. What happened to his lips? Like, something happened to his mouth. It's like it's kind of deformed or something. I can't tell. I'm like, was there an injury? Because I need to go back and look at. I mean, I'm not just saying it looks like age. It's like his facial structure looks totally different. And I'm like, what? Was that just from partying? Because that's sad. But he feels like he's been thrust into a parallel universe. He's right smack in the middle of this stuff. He gets in the house and he gets on his knees, so happy to be there. And his final line of his confessional is, I feel like I've become a side character in someone else's movie. I'm like, I feel like you've kind of always been. Like, that's sort of Schwartz. And I feel like he likes that. He's like, I'm not the main character. I definitely am not the main character even in my own movie. Can someone else be the lead in my movie? You know? The trailer. I'll go through some points on this trailer. We're going to get Captain Sandy, Riley, and Aisha, which is crazy. Katie and Schwartz are going to hook up. Interesting. Malia and Jordan are both going to want Kory. And it looks like Malia literally like jumps onto Kory's face to kiss him. Danielle and Alex have a little flirt. And then I think it looks like he goes for Jordan. And then also there's some chick who comes back to the house at like some party, and Alex hits on her right in front of Danielle, and Danielle is like, we just had sex 20 minutes ago. Malia tells Danielle, and I can't tell who's sitting with her. It's a guy and a girl, and Malia is like, everyone is attacking Jordan, and she didn't do shit, and Kyle's like comforting Jordan. So I don't know if that's related to Alex or what. Sam arrives, and of course she gets all up in Malia's face, and I feel like I'm going to actually be more like on Malia's side here because Sam, your man is the problem. Okay? He is the problem. Okay, guys. Let's see. Tonight, I'm recording this on Wednesday night, kind of late, but it is Beverly Hills. Pia and I are going to recap that along with Southern Charm on Friday. So the Beverly Hills recap and the Southern Charm recap will be together on Friday. So I know I'm going to get a lot of like, when are you putting out Beverly Hills? Friday. Okay? Friday. I'm kind of like, I'm not as pumped about this season. It doesn't have the same impact as like what it was like to recap last season. Well, I guess that's not how it started. Last season started like any other season, but it became such a chore to watch it, and like it took an emotional toll, and it was like necessary for Pia and I to record immediately after whatever. But I'm just trying to like set an expectation this go round. Because I just physically can't cover all these shows like individually anymore because I just end up behind and like. Anywho, love you guys. Mean it. And see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for watching and for listening to She Speaks Bravo with Emily Hanks. If you haven't already, would you mind leaving a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you listen? That would be amazing. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed and hit that bell so you don't miss an episode. And if you're looking for more content, more exclusive bonus content, check out the Patreon. I post 2 exclusive episodes a month, and I'm covering just the Bravo jams, like Classic Roni, Atlanta, and of course Vanderpump Rules. If you just want to support the show, head to buymeacoffee.com/SheSpeaksBravo and buy me a coffee, or 2, or 5. We also have merch available at SheSpeaksBravo.com. And if you're interested in hearing my takes on non-Bravo shows, check out my new podcast, She Speaks It All. I cover The Challenge, Drag Race, and any other show I'm obsessed with that's not Bravo. She Speaks It All is available everywhere you get your podcasts, just like this show. Make sure you're following me on the social medias. I am She Speaks Bravo across all platforms. Thank you so much for any support you give the show, even if it's just listening. Appreciate you, love you, mean it. I'll see you soon.